Endurance sport has never seen anything like this. Teams of 2 racing every hour of every day for 3 months, non-stop around the world. The Barcelona World Race will head into the most dangerous and wild oceans on the planet, and will test sailing machines and human relationships to breaking point. Last time on the Barcelona World Race, the fleet ripped its way into the Southern Ocean. Britain's Alex Thompson set a new 24-hour speed record on board Hugo Boss, sailing more than 500 miles in one day. Early favourites PRB crashed out of the lead and the race as they dramatically dismasted 600 miles from land. On board Trer Dam, fiery Spaniard Guillermo Altadil and Olympic gold medalist Jonathan McKee are forced to seek shelter in Cape Town to repair their battered boat, their race hanging in the balance. The Trer Dam's shore crew have worked relentlessly through the night, desperately trying to get the boat ready to rejoin the race. But with the full force of the Southern Ocean in front of them, the team has to evaluate whether they think she'll now be able to face the challenge ahead. It's a heavy-hearted Jonathan McKee who has to face up to a tough reality. Trer Dam's race is over.
It's a beautiful day here in Cape Town, but I would much rather be in my drive seat down in the Southern Ocean right now.
The 7 remaining boats in the fleet are now entering the perilous roaring 40s and screaming 50s of the Southern Ocean. The French and Irish duo on Paprec Virbac lead, but most teams are covering over 400 miles in every 24 hours, pushing their boats to the limits.
I'm dreading breaking the mast or something that's going to stop us racing. I've started 7 round the world events. I haven't finished them all, and that would be, yeah, that's what I'm dreading.
My biggest nightmare is surely that when I broke my keel in the last Vendée Globe. I had to stop the race. You can find a worse situation for a competitor. It's like breaking your leg in the Olympic Games.
The favourite PRB dropping out has made the glory of winning a real possibility for the rest of the fleet. On board Delta d'Or, currently in 4th, experienced Southern Ocean sailor Sidney Gavinier is enjoying watching his co-skipper Jeremy Bayou experiencing these tough conditions for the first time.
Alors, Jeremy Bayou!
Hello, Jeremy Bayou. It's a beautiful morning on Delta d'Or. What a fantasy view for Southern Ocean novice.
I guess Jeremy took me because I've been 3 times around the world, and he hasn't.
Alors?
So, are you okay?
I was fine until you woke me up, damn it!
He's a cool guy. I try to be cool. And I'm not sure you have to be the best friend of the world to do this race.
Bon, ça va, tu t'y fais?
Are you getting used to the cold and the damp?
Et à l'ambiance humide?
Sidney and Jeremy are united in their ambition to win, but they're very different characters.
Jeremy will be more in charge of navigation. He has been sailing single-handed now forever, more or less, so it was part of his job, and I will be in charge of going fast. I'm probably good in keeping the intensity at the same level, which is very high from the first minute to the last day of the last 3 months.
I always expect to win the race, but to be clear, to win this race, you have to finish the race before. That's really important to keep that in mind.
Another couple wrestling with the brutal conditions are Michel Paré and Dominic Varve on Temenos. Collectively, they've sailed round the world 8 times.
On approche des 40e, ça se voit.
We're approaching the roaring 40s. We can see it's cold, wet and windy. There's around 30 knots of wind. It's blowing hard.
Michelle and Dominique are unique to this race. They've been partners for the last 2 decades.
Dominique is a perfect partner for me. I even didn't imagine to go around the world in a double-hand race without anybody else.
In fact, we are quite different. I'm a Swiss, reputation being calm, and Michelle, she's come from the south of France, and she's more impulsive. So we are complementary in this way. What we have really in common is competition, fighting spirit, if you want.
Severe weather is about to hit the fleet, and at race control in Barcelona, Delta D'Or's Sydney Gavinier gives the watching world the latest update.
Can you give us a short summary of the conditions down there for you right now?
Wind speed was, before the cloud we had 5 minutes ago, was around 30 knots, pretty constant. Sometimes we have some big surfs on the waves. It's grey, even raining.
With Jeremy, you said it's his first time in the Southern Ocean. How is he coping so far?
Jeremy is a quite stressed person, so it's quite hard for me to know if he's more stressed than he would normally be. Probably Jeremy was scared to break the boat, but I think we can push quite a bit more without putting the Delta D'Or in danger. So it's very fast, and that's what we like.
December 11, on board Delta D'Or, we lost the mast last night, 1 o'clock GMT. We are in the middle of Southern Ocean, Indian Ocean. We have the storm jib on a dagger board, so we are doing 3 knots on the ground.
And we are really disappointed. It's a real deception for us to have to retire from this race, this Barcelona World Race. We were nearly in the match, and we hope to do a good race. So, but nobody is injured in board, so that's the most important.
Delta D'Or are nearly 1,000 miles downwind of South Africa. They're 2,000 miles from Western Australia. They're so far south that the sea temperature is 1 degree above freezing, and there's ice in the water that surrounds them. They have none of their masts left to make a temporary rig, and only enough diesel to motor for 200 miles. They're alone, adrift, and helpless in the Southern Ocean. The Southern Ocean continues to take its toll on man and machine. One crew makes a frightening discovery beneath their boat. And Sydney and Jeremy on Delta D'Or can only hope for rescue. The 9 two-person teams who left Barcelona to sail around the world are down to 6. The Southern Ocean has made sure of that. The French Delta D'Or team were the latest to see their Barcelona World Race fall apart. Dismasted, they're now adrift, hundreds of miles from the nearest land, hoping that salvation will come soon. The Southern Ocean is the most hostile and isolated region on the planet. The people that choose to come here appreciate its beauty as well as its menace.
When you go into this ocean, you are kind of a little bit in another planet. And you can imagine yourself being Cook or being a discoverer of the beginning of two centuries ago.
You are alone, nothing else. No land, no ships, no nothing. Just you, the boat and the ocean. It's something we cannot explain, but we want always to go there.
But like astronauts, the sailor's precarious place in the world can be brought home via satellite technology. A year ago, British skipper Alex Thomson was stranded in the Southern Ocean on board his damaged boat. He has real empathy with the crew on board the dismasted Delta d'Or.
We're very, very sorry to hear about Delta d'Or, and a big surprise. This again, a very well prepared boat. Looks pretty awful, especially considering we're the nearest inhabited land 800 miles away.
We have not enough gas oil. We decided to stop for a few hours.
Still able to communicate with their shore team, Delta d'Or has some big decisions to make. Australia's a possibility, but that could take months. Cape Town is 830 miles away, and it's upwind from where they are. Their only hope is with a trimaran that 4 years ago set the round-the-world record. And within 24 hours, the trimaran heads out into the Southern Ocean. It's got the range to reach Delta d'Or, but it's reliant on a slim weather window holding for the rescue to be successful. As Delta d'Or tries to make headway to the north, race leader Paprec Virbac is leading the fleet south, into the most remote and exposed part of this frozen ocean.
Damien, tell me what you saw this morning, in the wee hours of the morning, for the first time in this race.
With an iceberg on the bow, luckily with a sail that we pulled up quickly, and we rolled out the sail into the left up and sail reached the course around the weather side of this iceberg. Pretty reasonable size. It's like about a mile across, I suppose, and, you know, pretty high.
British skipper Alex Thomson on board Hugo Boss is holding on to third place as he prepares for the worst the Southern Ocean has to throw at them.
It gets bloody cold down here, and you wear that many layers, 3 to 5 layers. You can be on deck for less than an hour, and you've lost all feeling in your fingers and in your toes. And everything is damp and wet. We hope to get the heater working soon.
24 hours out from Cape Town, the rescue trimaran hits strong headwinds and has to reduce speed. The rescue now hangs in the balance.
GPS reading to them is 580 miles. Normally we can average 380 miles, but we had to slow down now because of the bad weather.
How many days of diesel we got?
We had 7 days of diesel, so we did,
Here we are. It's the second day since we lost a mast on Delta d'Or. We're using the motor to head north while we wait for the rescue team to come and get us.
After almost 5 weeks at sea, there's over 2,000 miles from the front to the back of the fleet. Every team has at least one member who's sailed around the world before, except Muta Madrilena. But Javier Sanzo and Patty Rivero are now finding their Southern Ocean stride, and in 5th. 800 miles behind them, Albert Bargues and Savannah Scoffier on Educación Sin Fronteras are beginning to get a real feel of the Southern Ocean.
I know we have an old boat, but that doesn't mean we are not going to race. Really, we are going to push the boat.
Sometimes I'm scared about going, because before I never went to the South Ocean. Bad food for 3 months, not sleeping like in a good bed, not seeing people we love for 3 months.
The crews are isolated, but not totally out of touch.
It's great to be able to phone home and just, you know, well, how are things going, and everything's going well here. Have a little bit of fresh air from something that's from off the boat.
Do you want to talk to Daddy? Huh? Do you want to talk to Daddy?
On British boat Hugo Boss, navigator Andrew Cape has been round the world 3 times before.
I typically ring home twice a week. It's good to talk to the family. Sometimes you do talk on some mundane issues about what's broken at home and what's not working, and the dog's sick and things like that, but that's part of it, and it does take your mind away from being at sea.
All he talks to me about is what Noah's doing, how school is, what the dog's doing. He just wants to hear your voice, I think.
I'm meant to ring you.
Yes. How are you doing?
Okay.
All right. In the middle of the night, dark?
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to Noah? He's just standing beside me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hello, Dad.
Hi, Noah. How have you been?
Good. When he's not here, the dog woofs at him when he comes back, when he's not here for a long time.
Throughout the race, Bilou and Jean-Luc on board Veolia Environment have always used laughter to get by. And being thousands of miles from land just makes their humour more extreme. There's little to smile about though, when on day 33 their generator, which powers the navigation system and makes all the water, decides to give up the ghost. To continue in the race, they must stop and make repairs. But the closest land is the desolate and barely inhabited Kerguelen Islands. On day 34, Veolia drops anchor. 900 miles away, something extraordinary has happened. The Southern Ocean is benign. The wind and waves for now have disappeared as the rescue trimaran finds Delta d'Or and the long tow to shore can begin. Jeremy and Sydney celebrate by having their Christmas dinner 10 days early.
I haven't tasted the artichoke yet, but lobster's not bad. We are on our way, doing 13 knots, faster than Paprec Virbac.
On the Kerguelen Islands, Bilou and Jean-Luc have not slept for 48 hours. But with some help from scientists stationed on the island, they've managed to repair their generator and rejoin the race.
We rejoined the race in 3rd position, but there is 2 months to go, and we can still catch up. Offshore racing is a mechanical sport, and still an adventure.
Veolia's pit stop has meant that Alex Thompson on Hugo Boss has powered past. The British skipper has moved from 8th to 2nd in 3 weeks.
In the Barcelona World Race, French yacht Veolia Environment has suffered a dismasting 1,600 miles off the southwest coast of Australia. Both crew members are unhurt. This is the 4th retirement in 9 days in this round-the-world race.
On n'a plus qu'à mettre des voiles maintenant pour faire route vers le point le plus proche qui est l'Australie.
Here we are, the day after our dismasting. Now we're on our way to the nearest land, southwest Australia. But we don't know exactly where or when, because we're going so slowly. We don't know why this happened, but it's hard to swallow.
Losing a mast puts you out of the race. But Michel and Dominique on Temenos are suddenly facing a much more serious problem.
You can see the crack in the keel, which is getting bigger and bigger because of corrosion. We don't know exactly when, but it will definitely break. This means we can't push hard because we don't want to stress the keel.
If a boat loses its keel, it can capsize and sink. A life-threatening situation.
You cannot be saved by an airplane or an helicopter, so on. It's no opportunity to be saved, except maybe if another sailing boat come to help you. So you don't have time to think about your fear. You are just working hard to make the boat fast and safe, and you stay alive automatically.
Dominique and Michel face at least 2 weeks sailing to New Zealand, knowing that the keel that keeps their boat upright could break at any time.
We have already lost 3 of our companions, but we always knew the race could take us to breaking point.
On a sunny day in Cape Town, relief. Delta Dora is back. The crew safe after a week-long ordeal.
I felt like lost in the middle of nowhere. Quite unsafe and very surprised. First thing is that it was quite a shock and very surprisingly because I decided to have this mast very strong.
Very quickly we decided to cut everything and to let the mast go because we're across to the waves and the mast was on the weather side and was ready to start hitting the hull and making holes, which would have been a very different story. So we don't have much left on board except our memory.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you. It's great to be here. I have only one beer, I'm sorry. Oh, that's okay. I'm sure we're going to get a lot over there. Hold that tail for the beer, don't worry.
He's not a man who's talking a lot, but this morning he was saying something quite strong. He said, well, now we can say that we could almost spend our leaders together.
We are not the best friend when we are leaving, and maybe we will be good friend at the end.
Bon, Jérémy, santé. Désolé, Gavinier. Next time.
Christmas is approaching as the fleet battles towards New Zealand. Routine shaped by freeze-dried food, cold, wet clothes, sleep deprivation, and thoughts of faraway family.
It's hard to be away from your family, but at least we are together.
Ouais, c'est pas très facile, mais bon.
Yes, it's not easy. We should be happy we have a lot of presents. Now I'm going to dive into the chocolates to stop myself crying. Because you shouldn't cry at Christmas time.
Arrêtez de pleurer parce que c'est vraiment pas le but, hein. À Noël, on pleure pas normalement.
Paprec Virbac have been leading for 12 days. But British skipper Alex Thompson on Hugo Boss is hunting them down. And after racing almost halfway around the world, is just 12 miles behind. During an intense battle for the lead across the Tasman Sea between Australia and New Zealand, Alex Thompson makes contact with race control. He shares a secret, on the understanding that not a soul will find out, as it could change the outcome of the race. Next time on the Barcelona World Race, who will lead the race through the Cook Straits, the halfway stage? Alex Thompson reveals his secret. And Dominique Varve and Michel Paret's anxiety continues. Will their damaged keel take them to safety?